Everyone, you're watching Good for the Game TV. I'm Brent Graham, and this a preview of stage 18 of the Tour de France. We'll also have a look at what happened yesterday in stage 17 and the latest general classification betting. Well, it seems to have taken forever, but we're here now. We're in the Alps. There's 3 massive days ahead of us, and these 3 days will decide who wears the yellow jersey into Paris. It's certainly one of the most open Tour de France's I can recall. We've got Alaphilippe out there leading, but a host of guys are just on his back, and all expectations are that Alaphilippe, of course, may crack. But let's get into yesterday's stage first, and before you do anything else, if you haven't subscribed to our videos yet, pop down below, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell as well, and you'll be notified of all of our videos going forward. Let's have a look then. I'm going to just start you off actually on Twitter, and this is Will Newton's Twitter feed. His followers have jumped up by somewhere around 2,000, 2,500 since the start of the tour. He's done his detailed preview for stage 18. Just click on the link and then scroll down below. You'll see handles that he must have probably posted about 50 tweets to get this preview up. But absolutely great analysis of the route as well as tactics. Let's go to yesterday though, and we had Matteo Trentin. A pick, and I mentioned in the preview yesterday. I followed the fact that so many guys were tipping Trentin, including Will, including the van on our forum. And I missed the 16-1. I managed to eventually get, by the time I did the preview, it was 12-1. By the time I got my bet on it, was 11-1. What a popular result for punters. Trentin getting into a massive breakaway. And then as the breakaway started splitting, coming towards the final climb, you could see this man was the strongest in the race. He was also the quickest sprinter there. So in theory, he could have probably held on and taken his chances with the sprint. Not for him. He actually attacked the small group of 6 before the final climb, pulled out a bit of a lead, and just continued to build on that through the climb. And he won nicely. He also delivered nicely for our bet that the winning margin would be 2 seconds or more on the stage, because he came in absolutely alone. He could really enjoy that feeling. A great ride by Kaspar Green, the quick step rider. He wasn't meant to be in the break, but he ended up there, and he rode well, and he was certainly the danger man, but seemed to leave his charge a little bit late. But I think at the end of the day, Trentin's legs just better than everyone else's. The rest of the peloton certainly took it easy, but it was hot. It was still a draining 200-kilometer stage, and there are going to be plenty of tired legs out there. Let's have a quick look at the outright betting now. I'll just make this screen a little bit larger, and we'll go have a look. That's the stage betting. I'm on wsb.co.za here. You'll see on the right-hand side, I've got one of my bets ready to go through with you later. Thibaut Pinot, 18-10. A bit of a drift on Pinot. I'm not sure if this is weather-related. Interestingly enough, Thomas hasn't really come in. He's 7-2. Perhaps WSB just looking for a bit of action on Pinot there. Egan Bernal, a 4-1. The 2 Ineos riders certainly do still hold a strong hand, even if they don't look to have quite the same team they had in the past. Julian Alaphilippe, he's consistently drifting. He's now out to 6-1. You remember after Sunday stage, he was 9-2. And at one point before Sunday, he was actually in to 12-10 favorite. I have been saying all along I wouldn't back him, and I think today is the day where I will be proved correct, but we'll talk about that just a little bit later. Kruijswijk 17-2, and Buchmann, he's 18-1. There's been a shortening of Mikel Landa. He's come in from 66-1 to 33-1. He, of course, still has a lot to do. We can have a quick look at the general classification here, and we'll see that he's still got a lot of time to make up, but he's got a very strong team, and there's no doubt with Mikel Landa that he's going to throw everything at it. He's a very attacking rider. And if there's weakness in the peloton, this guy is going to find it. Here we've got Alaphilippe. He still has a handy lead of 135. Kruijswijk further 12 seconds behind Thomas. Pinot then a further 3 seconds back. Egan Bernal a further 12 seconds behind him. And Buchmann there at 2:14. You can see Landa, what's he, 4:54. He's got over 2 minutes to find. Over 3 minutes to find on Geraint Thomas. So a big ask that. But if there is one man who can do it, and if he's with the right team around him, then it certainly has to be him. Talking of teams, well, Jumbo-Visma and Ineos are both a man down. They both lost their road captains, Tony Martin and Luke Rowe. Bit of an altercation at the bottom of the final climb yesterday, and the organisers saw fit to kick them out. I must say, I've watched the altercation. But I really don't think it was necessary to kick the guys out for that. A bit of a disagreement. Obviously, you don't want pushing and shoving on bikes, but that was a little bit extreme in my opinion. Certainly, if all that I've seen is what happened, then I think Luke Rowe in particular was pretty hard done. But at the end of the day, he tried to take a gap and was pushed out of it. There was really nothing to it, and both riders agreed with that after the stage as well. Let's go on to the stage 18 though. Now things are going to get going. We enter into the Alps, and you can see here we've got a fairly flattish start before we have a short Cat 3 climb, which could be a bit of a launch for the break. Alternatively, the break may take a while to form here. This is a stage where, of course, there's lots of teams who haven't won a stage yet. They're going to have one of their top riders in there. There's going to be the likes of Movistar, no doubt about it. Expect to see 3 Movistar riders in this break. There's a good chance they're going to be the 3 we saw the other day, Soler Amador and Nairo Quintana. Quintana will probably get in there. He is riding for Landa now, at least that is what he says. And in theory, he certainly should be, because he's out of contention as far as the GC goes. We get onto this Cat 3 climb, 9.3 kilometers at 7.5%. As Will mentions in his Twitter feed, it actually, the official climb is that, but there's actually a very long climb up for a long period at gradual gradients. So there's going to be riders with their strength sapped. I mean, we've had heat, we've had everything. Guys, this is going to be carnage today. Whether the race is really ridden hard or not, just because of the attrition on these riders, it's going to be one hell of a stage. We go into the Col d'Azur. It's 14.1 kilometers at 7.3%. It's a real brute. And then there's a bit of a valley before the final climb at 23 kilometers at 5.1%. It's the Col de Galabert. And then we descend down into the finish. What's going to happen today? A strong break is going to get away. That break is going to include, I would expect, both the Yates brothers, 3 Movistar riders. You're going to have some Astana guys up there. And there is every chance. I think the break has got a fairly good chance of making it. But they will need a biggish lead come the Galabert. So a lot's going to depend on what the GC guys do on the penultimate climb. And I think that Movistar are going to be the catalyst here. I think Landa's going to sit back. I expect Quintana and probably 2 other riders to go out. Similar tactics to what they used the other day. And Landa will attack towards the top of the Iziord and see if he can bridge across. On the other hand, it's also going to depend on what sort of gap the break get. If they're given too much leeway, then he may not be able to reach the likes of Quintana, and you'll see that in my stage betting analysis, that I think Quintana may actually have a chance of winning the stage. No doubt about it, the likes of Soler and Amador will drop back and help him. Certainly they'll want a rider with him here in the valley floor, no doubt about that they can help get him up there. There's a good chance someone like Pinot goes with him, and it's going to be very interesting to see the tactics of Ineos. But knowing Ineos with Thomas still sitting there in second place, they're going to ride fairly defensively. And I guess at the end of the day, a lot of today is going to be about Alaphilippe. Can he hold the pace? Or are we going to see a crack, the first signs of which we saw on Sunday towards the end of that stage? Right, let's have a look then at the stage betting. Well, I won't worry too much about the last kilometer. I can have a quick look at it here. A little bit of a rise there to the end, but essentially it's a descent into the finish. We'll go have a look at the stage betting now. And here we have Simon Yates, 4-1, Pinot 5-1. Of course, these 2 guys, if Yates wins, it's from a break. If Pinot wins, it's from it means we've got a GC battle on our hands. Landa 8-1. Adam Yates, well, if he finds his legs, he's far enough back now. As I say, I expect to see him in the break. Maybe after all, Simon Yates will work for him as it was intended in this tour. But has he recovered enough to win a stage of this nature? I don't know. He hasn't looked very good so far. Roman Bardet, he'll certainly have a go, 16-1. Bernal 18, Thomas 18, Alaphilippe 20-1. Well, if he wins, it's the end of the road for me. I can tell you a lot of my bets will be in a lot of trouble. Different prices from different bookmakers. And I think let's go straight to the Good for the Game forum, and I'll stick a link to the forum. You've got other punters share their bets on their daily as well. I'll also stick a link to my newsletter. I will be sending a newsletter out on Friday morning. Right, we're into the Alps, and here's my bets. I'm going half a unit on Quintana to win at 33-1. I expect him to be in the break. At the end of the day, whatever we say about Quintana, he's an excellent climber. He had a couple of off days, and he may still not be right. I accept that. But the reality with Quintana is that he had a crash, and there could be some good reasons why he wasn't at his best. So I'm going Quintana to win, because if the break gets far ahead and the GC guys are totally, minutes away from the break, Quintana will be very difficult to catch up that final climb. I do think he's a runner for the stage. He's also shown us in the past that he's quite capable of bouncing back from disappointment. And then Astana, there's no doubt about it, they're going to be looking for a stage winner to salvage their tour after Fuchsland has dropped out. Louis Leon Sanchez is also gone. And yeah, I'm going for Lutsenko, who I think is their best bet at 28-1. I would often have said Bilbao, but he just hasn't looked I think he's got the Giro in his legs. He just hasn't looked that strong in this tour. So I'm going Lutsenko 28-1. I've little doubt that he'll be in the break with at least 2 or 3 other Astana riders who will work for him. Those are my 2 outright plays. Nothing dramatic. Going to sit on the fact that we had a nice win yesterday, a unit on Trentin at double figures, and certainly got the tour back on track for me. 2 units then. This is my multiple at World Sports Betting. I haven't actually taken the bet yet, so I assume it's not related outcomes. It does show this to me. If for some reason it's related, I think the bet is generally available. So let's have a look here. I'm just going to put to see if I've actually got some money in the account. I'm just going to put for the sake of just checking that it goes through. I'm going to place the treble there, and I put too little a stake on there. Okay, sorry. Let's do that. I went below the minimum stake just to see if I could get the bet down, and yeah, no problem placing the treble. So that treble will go on at World Sports Betting. And that will be my main interest for the day. Really, obviously, going to be watching the outright. I won't be able to watch the stage. I'll be staying off social media, and I'll be watching it later. And yeah, we got our rugby shows tonight. We've got GG Gaming Gone Mad at 8:30, rugby, the handicap live show at 9 o'clock. I don't know when I'm going to actually even get a chance to watch the stage because I'm pretty busy at work as well. But anyway, cannot wait for it. Absolutely cannot wait for this one. It's going to be an absolute belter. And really, guys, we're at the business end now. I saw Will Newton say he's suffering from fatigue as he does his mammoth previews. My previews are certainly not as long, but just watching this race, betting on this race, it's 3 weeks is a long time, but I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. What a great race, and what a great finish we're heading for. Look forward to you joining me for these last 3 to 4 days, and enjoy the stage. It's going to be an absolute cracker.